All right, we got a lot going on the show today. Brian McNally, our Redskins beat reporter, joins us today, 25. We're also giving away a spot in our first annual Junkies PPC Poker Stop. That's August 24th at Maryland Live Casino. You win that tourney, you go to Aruba with us. Time now to give you 2 hole cards. You don't call in now to win because we give you the 2 hole cards. Then we'll give you the rest of the hand at 8:20. Then you call in, and you can win a spot in the tournament.
Very simple.
All right, your whole card. Now, when you first look at this hand, you're going to go, but you're the big blind and nobody's raising you, so you're still in it.
Okay.
All right, your whole cards are 7 of hearts, 5 of diamonds.
All right. I like it.
Jot that down. 7 of hearts, 5 of diamonds. All right, right now we'll switch gears. Talk a little baseball. When you hear this music, that means Nationals manager Matt Williams is with us. Hey, Matt.
Hey, I'm going to fold that hand, you guys.
You're
You're gonna yeah, but you're in the big blind.
Yeah, you're in the big blind and nobody raised
Nobody
you. So
raised, so you're good. You're going to see a flop anyway.
Your money's in there. Free flop.
Yeah, I'm in home, man.
When's the last time you did something? When's the last time you did something completely had nothing to do with baseball? Maybe it was during the All-Star break where you just, let loose and had fun, Matt.
Yeah, probably All-Star break with the family. Got a chance to hang out and
Right.
do nothing as far as baseball goes. I went down a water slide.
Nice.
With Madison, yeah. So that's the last time. But we're back into it now. No more time for that stuff.
Does your daughter play any sports?
She does. Well, she's a figure skater. She plays tennis.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So Erica's busy for sure.
Figure skater. Wow.
Yeah,
That's hardcore, man.
it is. It is. It's rough. She comes home with bumps and bruises and.
Yeah, it's hard on your body. I think
Yeah.
it's almost
It
like
is.
gymnastics.
And those
you know?
are early morning practices, aren't they?
They are. They can be 5 a.m. They can be, late at night. So, yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
You got
got
to do it for the kids, though.
gotten upset with the judges' scores and gotten into a little, altercation?
No, not yet. It's
Not
way
yet.
too early for that, yeah.
It's funny because we were, asking about what you do for fun, and as a Nats fan, I know these last couple of days have been frustrating, and I'm just amazed. I don't know how you do it. I told the guys yesterday that that job cannot be fun because 2 days ago, Matt, here we are. We have the best record in the National League. Everyone's all high on everything. Then we lose 2, and I know particularly the way we lost it, 2 nights ago. And then as fans, I can only speak for myself. I want to jump off a bridge. I'm like, oh my God, but yet we're still in first place. Everything's good. We got a lot of injuries. You're dealing with it amazingly well. But as a fan, it's not even fun as a fan. I don't know how it could be fun for you. And yet I see you. You're even keeled. I see your press conferences. They're so boring. You don't give anybody anything. You keep it all inside. Is the job even fun? How do you handle this day to day? Because honestly, it's miserable. I don't know how you do it.
Well, it is fun. But, I've got to put on the poker face sometimes, too. So during the press conference, you've got to answer the questions. Ultimately, deep down, I'm a positive guy. I'm positive about our team and our prospects. I'm excited about today's game and seeing if we can get this one. If we get this one, it's a pretty darn good road trip. And, all of those things are good. It does get frustrating when you lose, of course. Nobody likes that. But, man, you got to have a short memory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if you don't, it'll drive you crazy.
Yeah, I mean, let's say you win 3 out of 5. I mean, 2 of those days are miserable.
But he's been doing it pretty much his whole life. As
I
a
know.
player, he
I don't know
dealt
how
with
you
it.
deal with it.
It's a day-to-day grind. You got to look big picture. But how do you unwind? How do you let it release at night? Do you have a cocktail when you get back to the hotel room, when you get home?
Sometimes the staff sits around and discusses the next day, has a beer and
right.
unwinds at the ballpark. We're the last ones out of the clubhouse, so that helps you relieve it a little bit. You can forget about it and get on. So, but yeah, I'm like everybody else. I don't take the losing very well because that's not why we're there.
Right.
So it's but you know what? You have to have that short memory and know that in this game anyway, there's another one tomorrow. And like today, it comes quickly. So if you dwell on last night, you forget about today.
By the way, before we get into the nitty-gritty of your team and the upcoming schedule, I do want you to kind of hear from you, reflect on the Hall of Fame ceremony. A couple guys that got in the Hall of Fame used to face, on a regular basis in Greg Maddux and the pitchers that you faced. What was it like going up against those guys?
It wasn't fun. I didn't have a great deal of success against either one of them. But and that's why they were there.
Most didn't.
Alone.
Right.
Yeah. So it's great to see those guys get in. Frank was a force in the American League for a long time, and Greg and Tom were, they were the kingpins of that great run that the Braves had. I think 14 consecutive playoff appearances is pretty good. So I have to imagine that the third piece of that the trio of pitchers will go in next year. I think they've got a chance to have three in 2 years potentially. So that's great. And they were tough to face, but it was always great competition. And you go into Atlanta knowing that, hey, you'd be lucky to get one win out of these 3 games. And it was tough to face all of them.
So Matt, Miami a few weeks ago, you would have thought they were dead in the water, but they've turned it on. They've won 6 straight, and they're really good. Well, not really good, but they're pretty good at home, 30 and 24. And then the way you guys lost a couple nights ago, blowing the six-run lead, and then last night you couldn't really manage anything against Alvarez. They got a couple really good young arms, as you know, and they've got some bats. So how would you kind of assess the series so far in the first 2?
Well, I think we had the first one in hand, and sometimes that happens. You see it from time to time where teams will come back and from a big deficit and end up winning the game. Unfortunately for us, we were on the wrong end of that stick, but they've got talent. They've got certainly big power in the middle of the lineup. They've got some speed. They play pretty good defense. They run the bases effectively. And then, a night like last night, you can just get shut out. They can run some starting pitching at you. They get Cishek closes games effectively. So, they've got a really good team. They're young, so there'll be times, I think, where they flip-flop a little bit. Sometimes they'll go into a little bad streak, but they can also run off 6 in a row like they've done. So they're smelling it. They're smelling that wild card for now, and they're playing hard every day.
When we talked to you last week, we didn't really know how serious Zim's hamstring was. It was reported, and I don't know if you can confirm this, but it was reported late last night that it's a grade 3, which is the most serious of the injuries. There could be a rupture in there, and he could possibly miss the rest of the regular season. Is that something you can confirm, or are you still going kind of week by week?
Yeah, I can't confirm because we don't know exactly. So everybody can speculate and say, hey, well, this is grade 1, 2, 3. He could miss the rest of the season. He could miss 6 weeks. We just don't know. We're going to know more as we get along in this thing, and he gets a chance to rest and let it mat down a little bit, get the therapy on it, and start strengthening and doing all of the things that you do. But as of right now, we're hoping that it mats down quickly, that his strength comes back quickly, and we can have him back. What that time frame is, we just don't know. I don't think anybody really knows.
Matt, I know people have been asking you recently. Bryce had a couple blunders there on the base pass, or just places where he's been caught. And I know you say you want to be aggressive, and this is the way it is. I get that. But I wanted to ask you about that play he made the other day when we threw it to first. And I'm watching it, I'm going, it worked out. Roach cut the throw off, and you guys got the guy at second. And I think it's the first time it's been successful this year. Guy just hits what looks like a routine single. Left field takes a big turn, and Bryce kind of
behind him.
I don't know if he lulled him on purpose and then threw behind him, and they got him. But as I'm watching that, I don't know. Is that a good play? Is that a solid play? I mean, it worked out.
Yeah. What if the guy reaches second?
Which I think he has a few times this year. Yeah. Is that a play that you endorse and you want, or like what is your stance on that?
Well, it depends on the throw. So if the throw is high, it certainly allows the batter runner to go to second base potentially.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the runner. It depends on a lot of factors. But if he's gonna look to do that, the ball's certainly a ball that gets through the infield on the ground, so he can charge it and he can cut down distance. The key to the whole thing, though, is the throw has to be low enough to be cut.
Right.
So if one of the middle infielders is at second base, they can get to it. If it's too high, then it allows that guy to turn first and go to second without any worry. So is it a good play? Depends on the throw. Depends on how low that throw is and whether we can cut that ball off or not.
Who made that? Who made that play? To me, it looked like LaRoche saved that play.
Yeah, he came and got the ball.
Right.
Again, it depends on the runner. So the runner was Solskjaer.
Slowish. Right.
Slower runner. So he was able to come get it and cut him down at second base. But Bryce has done that a few times and been successful. And if that throw is low and cuttable, then you have options there.
Talking to Nationals manager Matt Williams as we go in the dugout with him like we do every Wednesday. Looking at your schedule, you guys have Philadelphia at home. You got that one game against Baltimore. You've got the Mets after that, a nice little homestand. I'm wondering, though, you've got the trade deadline looming. While you're preparing as usual, how often are you talking to Mike Rizzo about what you may or may not do?
Every day. I mean, Mike's on the trip, so we talk every day about, what potentially could be out there. He's certainly talking to teams. There's teams calling us, asking. There's certainly inquiries by Mike, testing the waters and see what could be available. So he's constantly on the phone. So, that conversation happens every day. Nothing concrete yet. But it's amazing how quickly things turn in the next 24 hours here.
Mm-hmm.
So his phone rings off the hook, which is good, which means that there's teams that are out there looking to sell potentially or looking at people in our organization that they're interested in. So all of those are good things. But Mike hasn't made any decision on anything yet. But that last 24 hours gets pretty hot and heavy.
So, Matt, it's clear that you and Atlanta are the class of the division, and in my opinion, it'll be neck and neck all the way down to the last weekend. But Miami's coming on strong. I still think Miami will fade. But when you look at Atlanta, and you still got 9 games against them,
yes,
are they better than you guys in any facet, or do you think you're clearly the stronger team than them?
Well, it depends. It depends on a lot of things. I think both teams offer their own set of great skills. So you look at Atlanta and you go, okay, can they run off a winning streak? Sure. They do it, but in a number of ways. They've got starting pitching that can get them deep in games. They've got powerful offense that can hit balls over the fence depending on who's on base and put up crooked numbers. They play exceptional defense, especially at the shortstop position. And so, they have the ability to run off games. But we do too. And so, it's a question of who's going to execute. Our starting pitching has been fantastic. We had a little blunder in the bullpen the other day. But for the most part this season, they've been exceptional as well. We've had some injuries, but so have they. And, as it sits right now, we've got a real legitimate chance here.
All right,
if you were to tell me that at this point in the season we would be where we're at, I'd take it, and I think everybody would.
Time now for you to give us your Burke and Herbert bank player that must deliver this week or that will deliver. What do you think there, Matt?
Well, I'm back to Wilson. I'm back to Wilson Ramos.
It's coming.
He's coming. It's coming, and it's coming. It's when it comes, it'll be really special. So, I think last week's pick, Bryce, is there. I think his swing is right there. And this week we look for Wilson to do big things for us.
All right, Wilson Ramos this week.
Real quick, can you explain why he went sans batting gloves against Cincinnati, and then he's back to him now in this series?
Sometimes you search for the right mix,
Mm-hmm.
And at that point he didn't feel good. But in this series, he feels really good at the plate. He's swinging the bat well. So, hey, whatever it takes, man. We're all about that.
So crazy.
He's searching.
What a
Matt.
mental game. All right, thank you, Matt. Good luck, buddy.
Okay, talk to you guys.
Okay.
Talk to you next week.
Yeah, I don't know how these guys deal with it, man. There's so much struggle, so much, and they're in first place. And guys are searching.
Yeah, they're in first place. And
guys are injured.
Next 2 days is going to be interesting. Now, of course, you don't expect the Nats to make a big deal, but now with the report that Zimmerman's going to be out maybe longer than they thought,
You know what helps?
maybe they do go out and get either a third baseman or a second baseman.
You know what helps deal with it? Pretty big fat paycheck that he gets.
Yeah, but this
helps.
guy, he's G'd up. He doesn't worry about money. He's fine.
He's already rich.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's been
rich.
divorced a couple times. He might.
I don't think he's worried about money. He's fine. I just don't know how you deal with the daily. This is his life. As you said, he's done his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a brutal sport. 162 games, brutalness.
12:40 game today.
Yep.
I love the afternoon games.
I like that too. I'll
All
sit down
right,
and
coming up
watch.
next, we're going to give you the rest of that poker hand so that you can win a spot in the Junkies PPC Poker Stop. So we're going to do that. Plus, Redskins beat reporter Brian McNally
Then
joins us.
After we do McNally and the Redskins, can we get back into Durant? Because I think we did the Durant thing early in the show. I think we need to get back into it.
And take some calls. We need to take some calls.
We need to take some calls. Feel the people because he's leaving the door wide open. wide open with some of his comments yesterday.
All right, but Brian McNally, Redskins beat reporter, joins us next, plus the rest of your poker hand.